Hello, impact maker. Welcome to today's broadcast of Life Transitions Today, where I share tips and tactics to help you maximize the in-betweens of life. I want to share with us today a story of a man I will simply call Nnamdi. Nnamdi was raised in the eastern part of Nigeria, a country in West Africa. While growing up, his parents always told him about a particular tribe in their region, which they believe is full of bad people. Nnamdi's parents will always tell him that as much as possible he should do away from such people and have nothing to do with them. After he was through with his secondary school education, he had to move to Lagos State, the commercial hub in Nigeria. Interestingly, the first person that Nnamdi met that took him into his house happened to be from that same tribe his parents had warned him to never relate with. They grew in their friendship and they eventually became business partners. A few years down the line, Chidi went to China to go and get some goods for their store, only for him to never return. Of course, he wasn't dead. He actually moved to another city and eloped with all their monies and all the profits they've gathered over the years. This reinforced the story that Nnamdi had had all his life, that these people are dubious, they are bad, you don't do business with them. You know what happened. Nnamdi took this as his own story too, having experienced it firsthand, and passed the same thing down to his children. Our mind is like a canvas. As we grow older, a lot of paintings are being applied to this canvas of our mind, either from our parents, from our aunties, from our uncles, from the people we love, from people we relate with. After all the applications, the toning, the brushing, and everything has been applied, there's a picture that forms on our mind that eventually determines the kind of person we are, the kind of people we attract, and the kind of experiences that we have in life. What can we learn from the canvas, and how does that apply to us as a people, and as it affects our thinking and our experiences in life? The first thing is, the canvas is usually blank. The canvas knows nothing. The canvas has no control over who buys it or who acquires it. And then the canvas doesn't know where it is taken to or for what purpose it is being used. In other words, the canvas is neutral. When we came into this world, we came in neutral. We came in blank. Everything we have learned, everything we have become, everything we have believed, they are all products of the different strokes of brushes, different strokes of paintings that we have encountered from our interactions with people, especially our handlers, our parents and guardians, and our very close family members. Whatever it is you have become right now, whether you feel empowered or you feel weak, it is because of the kind of painting that has happened over the canvas of your mind up to this point in your life. When you understand that you yourself as a person, you are neutral, meaning that you can always go back to how you started from the first place, from the beginning. You can always press reset, and we'll be discussing that in subsequent episodes. What other thing can we learn from the canvas is that the canvas turns out relative to the skill of the painter. Skill basically is an accumulation of experience, and experience is the repeated perception, interpretation, and application of events. As you hear those words consistently, they begin to form blocks in your mind. It's like building blocks, one layer after another, one layer after another. Somehow, we all grew up to believe that some colors are more important or superior to some colors. Some people are better than some people. Some professions are more important than some professions. All men are equal, but some men are more equal than some other men. We all grew up with this kind of uh, prejudice, with this kind of biasness in our minds based on the skill of the people that have painted these things into our mind. The key word here is repetition. The more the painter applies the strokes on the canvas, the more the colors are forming. And of course, the skill of the painter determines the kind of color that will form. When we have some experiences in life, like I mentioned in the last episode, I talked about pivot moments, and I said that pivot moments are those experiences in our lives that could define our mindset, our frame of mind, and our perspective to life, especially on some particular issues for the rest of our lives. Why is this powerful? Is because when we have those experiences, we tend to form some beliefs about the event or the people that are affected. For example, in the case of Nnamdi, probably his parents had an encounter with somebody from that tribe, and they just generalized that everybody from that tribe is bad. So they sold that frame of mind to Nnamdi, and Nnamdi also grew up to believe that everybody from that tribe is bad by his own experience too. By continuously repeating some things to ourselves, we begin to create that same thing in our experiences. So we think it's because that is the way it is. We don't know that we are actually the ones creating our experiences and our outcomes in life. And that takes me to the third thing we need to understand about the canvas, which is the fact that the canvas reflects the painting on it. The emotions people feel when they experience the canvas is not about the canvas itself, it's about the painting on the canvas. So when people go to an art gallery and they see some very beautiful paintings and all, what makes them to feel some emotions for the painting is not the canvas itself, it is the painting on the canvas. Our emotions, feelings, expressions, and reactions all echo the accumulated paintings on the palette of our art. So as people paint those events on our art, as we encounter people, encounter events, and we have different kinds of outcomes in life, those things begin to form on the palette of our art. We emote joy or sorrow, pleasure or pain, harmony or dissonance as a reflection of the image deep down in our minds. So whatever it is we produce outside is from what we have on our inside, which, like I mentioned earlier, we have repeated to ourselves over and over and over again. Our thoughts produce our feelings our actions, and our actions our results. And like Leonardo da Vinci said, the painter will produce pictures of little merit if he takes the works of others as his own standard. So my encouragement to you today is to look at the works that other people have painted on your art and consider it as whether it's something you want to take as your standard or you want to create your own standard. Others have painted on your mind up to this point in your life. I challenge you, it's time to take your life back. In a couple of episodes, I'll be sharing more insight on how you can take control of your life and advance in your journey towards freedom, abundance, and rest. If you missed the previous episodes, I encourage you to click the link in the description to take them again so that you can flow with the series. And if you want to know when I will release the next episode, then you should click the subscribe button now. Till we meet in the next episode, keep grinding, keep winning, and keep bringing in the laurels. I believe in you. Bye for now.